One more thing we'll do, alternate promises. Alternate promises are promises where, that promise can be, the promise has two parts, two alternate parts. One legal part and another illegal part. Now, I'll give you an example to explain this. Let's say there's a person X and there's a person Y. Y tells X that I want your house on rent. X tells him, okay, I'll give you my house on rent if you give me a rent of 10,000 per month. Y says, okay. Now, X has two rooms in his house. So, Y uses one room for his stay, for his residence, and he uses the other room as a gambling den. He started his gambling den there. So now you can see here that the house which X owns, this house is owned by X, it will be given to Y. It has two rooms and the first room is used for residence, the second room is used as a gambling den. The rent for the house that Y will pay is 10,000 per month. Now, in this case, there are two parts. The first part is pretty much legal, where Y is using the house for his personal stay, for his residence, which is pretty much legal. So there's nothing wrong about this. You can rent a house to stay. If we consider the second promise or the second part of the promise, we can see that the second room is being used as a gambling den, which is not allowed. Gambling is illegal in India. So Y cannot be using the second room as a gambling den. He is doing something which is illegal. So now we can break the promise into two parts. The first part is legal and the second part is illegal. And if we break this, the first part will become a valid contract. The second part will become a void contract. At the same time, the consideration would also need to be broken. For the first room, X will get 5,000. For the second room, X will get 5,000. So, since the first part of the promise is legal, X has a right to get 5,000 from Y because he has given Y the room to stay and Y stays in that room. So he's paying 5,000 for that because he was paying 10,000 for the whole house. There are two rooms in the house. So for one house, 5,000 is reasonable. 5,000 for the second room becomes illegal and the contract becomes void. Okay. So in this case, you saw that I could separate the two. I could break the two. So only when the contract is divisible and there's one part which is legal, there's another part which is illegal, the legal part becomes a valid contract, the illegal part becomes a void contract or an illegal contract and thus a void contract.